Okay.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om, welcome. So nice to see many of you joining, not to hear me, to hear Sri Krishna's teachings, and I am only trying to do justice to the glorious instructions of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Haraye Paramatmane Pranatakleshanashaya Govindaya Namo. The very meaning of the name Krishna is one who takes away, scratches and scrapes away the sins in our bosom. Sin in life reflects as unending agitations, misery, anxiety, or to use a simple expression, self-rejection. We're unhappy with ourselves. If we are endlessly unhappy with ourselves, there is certainly some kind of sin in our past, if not in this life, in a previous life. But whenever that sin had got into our psyche, it needs to be removed, and it is in the removal of sin that there is rise of ours. With due respect to money and power and position, with due respect to excelling in this subject or showing such incomparable talent in some other area, those things draw our attention in this world. With due respect to all of them, really speaking, from a higher point of view, rise in human life is certain happiness, certain cheerfulness, or to put in contrast with what I said before, if sin is self-rejection, merit or the rise of human life is in self-acceptance. Rich or poor, by the evening of your life, or by the late evening of your life, or even in the few last moments of your life, suppose you genuinely, really say, I am happy with my life. I am happy with the way everything turned out. I have no complaints. I am rather thankful. I am grateful to God. If you are able to say that, you have risen very high. In contrast with tons of wealth and all other enviable accomplishments, suppose you are grinding your teeth, if any teeth have remained at that age. I don't know why my life is like this. I don't know why I am like this. Self-rejection. Then you have fallen somewhere. Because friends, let me make it very simple. Spirituality awakens us to a simple truth that it's all in our mind. It is in the psychology. It is in our psyche that fall or rise express themselves. With hardly anything worth mentioning in the form of an accomplishment, our psyche can be making us very peaceful, very loving. We have love towards all, and we experience love coming towards us. Our mind is capable of bringing us to that level. Of course, the mind would do so if there is a spiritual understanding. It's not totally within the capacity of the mind. It is something above the mind. Call it God, call it reality, call it Brahman, you may call it anything. It need not be how others visualize it. But there is certain power, certain truth other than the body and the mind. And when we connect to that higher truth, then our mind magically lets go of its worries and anxieties, no complaints. Being fully aware of losses and gains in our life, being fully aware of where we were insulted and where we were honored, being aware of all of them, net result is we are at peace with ourselves. And that is many a time forgotten. That goal, that target is forgotten. And we chase some material gain or some name or something. Sometimes we say, all I want is justice. And saying so, we actually fill our bosom with certain hatred towards somebody, revengefulness with somebody, etc. Friends, in Bhagavad Gita, which has a tremendous philosophy in it, which great acharyas like Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, and Shankaracharya took pains to describe, define, and provide a very comprehensive outline for. Despite and amidst all that high philosophy, Bhagavad Gita puts this matter in the simplest terms also. In fact, before saying what Gita shares with us, I will quickly refer to the famous Amrita Bindu Upanishad statement. Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. The mind alone can bind us, bandha, or set us free, moksha. And the Upanishad puts it in black and white. Bandhaya vishayasaktam muktam nirvishayam smritam. If your mind is attached to sense objects on a gross plane is good food and drinks and many sense pleasures. But Vishaya, sense object, normally translated as sense object, in its subtler form is chasing a certain image. How I see myself, how people should see myself, how people should see me as the victor, as the victorious one. I don't want to be looked at as a failure. So your image in the eyes of others, your image in your own eyes has become more important than what you really are. That is where the mind drags us down. Bandhaya vishayasaktam. Sthula or sukshma, gross or subtle, there is something to which our mind clings. Mind holds on to it. Then bondage, that is fall. And the Upanishad says, Muktam nirvishayam smritam. If your mind is able to let go of any fancy, any dream, any ambition, or as J. Krishnamurti puts it, wanting to become. Even at the age of 94, suppose somebody among us wants to become, even for a day, I want to become the mayor of this city. Somebody. Even for a day, I want to be the husband of that pretty woman who I always adored. Even for a day, I want to have my own 5-bedroom house, owner of the 5-bedroom house. Want to become. What do you mean for even a day? That means the next day you are not that and it's okay. Yeah, yeah. I'm so, oh dear. Let go of what you want to become. Be that shining awareness. The Vedanta says you are Chit. Don't be interested in becoming Kaschit. In Sanskrit, Kaschit means somebody, someone. Let go of this Kaschit. Become Chit. You are already that. Therefore, be Chit. Therefore, let go. And how is that to happen? That's what we want to discuss. Muktam nirvishayam smritam. When your mind has completely thrown to the winds, its regrets, its pride, its desire, name it. We are not here to show off our vocabulary. Speakers like me also should not indulge in simply giving synonyms. Some in the audience may admire, oh my God, for one emotion he had 7 words to explain it. Once in a while it's okay, but otherwise it's better to use one appropriate word and move on rather than delivering, releasing a burst of synonyms. Let go of anything that you are clinging to. Even a Swami, a sannyasi, suppose clings to a dream. I will write some book on Vairagya, and that must be for a century to come the best book in the world on the topic. Shiva Shiva, why are you desiring to be a popular author? If you want to write, write, but don't desire anything. Don't try to project an image of yourself being the wisest and the most intelligent one or whatever. Write in joy, not seeking anything. Write 100 books if you like, or don't write a single book. What difference does it make? What is important is, as Pujya Swami Chinmayananji used to say, live out of happiness. Say goodbye to this business of living for happiness, keeping happiness at a distance. Over there is happiness. I am inching towards it. Very soon I will be there with my hand, laying my hand upon happiness. And that is a wild goose chase. Discover natural happiness in yourself, which comes to you by contemplating upon Brahman, or in the Bhakti Yoga language, contemplate upon God. So let me straight go to how Geetā puts it. In the 12th chapter, Sri Krishna says, he respects and he honors both Bhakti Marga and Jnana Marga. Then he says, Mayyeva mana adatsva, Mayi buddhim niveshaya, nivasishyasi mayyeva, ata oordhvam na samshayah. Oordhvam means rising, up, and up. Some of us here may be very young in their 30s. Is there a doubt at all that one day they will be 70, another day they will be 80? Many of us who are in our 70s or 60s or 80s would not have imagined, though we knew in essence. And yet, when we were youthful, we would see ourselves in the mirror and imagine always we would have black hair and bright skin and all whatnot. But laws of Prakriti don't care for anybody. We got old, right? So, what we need is let the mind not cling even to youthfulness. Let our mind not cling to even being physically fit. Because we don't invite trouble foolishly. If we are sick, we go to a doctor. If we are some exercises to be done to keep ourselves fit, we should follow it. That's all common sense. But even after doing whatever we are doing, we take appropriate food and all that. What is the point here? Do whatever is sensible, but through the strength of spirituality, let your mind not go on worrying about when will I have better health, when will I have better looks. Let go of it. Good health, youthfulness, name or fame, some wealth, some people loving her, liking her, admiring. That is all. Let it be by the side. If you have it, good. If you don't have it, should not matter. Then what matters? As that shloka says, 8th shloka of 12th chapter, your ability to remain in God. Mind should dwell on God. And the Upanishads say your mind should dwell on the truth of your existence. Sat aham, chit aham, anantah aham, anandah aham. Should not be words coming out of the mouth of a parrot. It should be words coming out of a certain clear understanding. And even today in this world, there are excellent Vedanta teachers. There are sources. Go to them, grasp the essence. Therefore, that 8th verse of chapter 12 is the key to rising. Keep your mind primarily in God and secondarily do whatever you wish to do. I'm never tired of quoting Sri Ramakrishna, who used to say, when one hand of yours is at work, hold God with the second. And as soon as the work is over, hold God both the hands. Hold God with both the hands when the work is over. Some work comes up, some kartavya comes up, some duty comes up. With one hand, do the duty. With the second, hold God. In other words, hold God all the time. Language of bhakti or language of jnana, both actually are slightly differently quoted or packaged. In the 8th chapter, Sri Krishna says, Mam anusmara yudhyacha. Mam anusmara, constantly remember me. Remember God or truth lovingly. Even philosophies like Buddhism or the teachings of J. Krishnamurti that have no room for God. There is no mention of God. They also say, stay mindful. Don't be caught or don't be carried away by mind, but be aware of thoughts rising and falling. A tiny wave of envy rises in you. Stay aware. Don't condemn it. Don't embrace it. Stay aware. A small wave after a minute or two of compassion arises. Love arises. Appreciation of art or music arises. Suddenly, love for your parents, of your grandchildren. Good thoughts, bad thoughts, they arise. Buddhism, Jainism, J. Krishnamurti, and many other lofty thinkers who are a little non-traditional from our Sanatana Dharma's point of view have also said, stay attentive. Do not be carried away by what I should have been, what I should be, what I could have been, blah, blah. Don't be carried away by that. If your mind is indulging in it, you look at what the mind is doing. The mind indulging in a certain fancy about future is the reality at that time for you. That is what is. I'm holding a book on desirelessness, but in my mind there is a desire to be an exceptional scholar on this topic of desirelessness. I'll master this book, 520 pages book somebody has written on desirelessness. I will give the best speeches on desirelessness, and I will one day write another book which will surpass this. You are reading a book on desirelessness, but actually what is in your mind is a desire to be a scholar of desirelessness. Sure, sure. So be aware. And when you are aware, you begin to rise. Mai eva mana adatsva. Ata oordhvam na samshayah. But we said we will talk about fall also. Fall, you know what it is? Once more, let me say, in a certain sense, we might be getting richer, more popular, much sought after, much envied, much in the media, envy of everybody, and this mad, mad world admires us. Somebody even made a statement, it is better to be envied than to be pitied. I would rather be envied. I want to be the center of envy. People should look at me. When will we become so famous or so bright or so good like he is, she is? And it gives us a kick, let us say. That is worldliness. Some worldly man made that statement, it is better to be envied than to be pitied. Actually, the truth is, the best thing is, be free from envy. Do not seek that others envy you. If they do, pray for them. Do not seek to be freed or to be not pitied. Don't fear pity. Somebody is pitying you. Well, you examine. You don't want to be envied. And you are not afraid of being pitied, being looked down at. We'll examine it. Is there some truth in somebody looking down at us? Is there some truth in it that we are so despicable, we are worthy of contempt? Let's act on it. But the fact that somebody is pitying us should not by itself bother us. If there is something in us which makes them pity us, in our behavior, in our conduct, let's try to correct it. That's about it. So Sri Krishna talks about how a lot of people among you and me, we are all included in this case study, gather scholarship, gather wealth, gather social status. We get so many things. We pat our back saying, I have traveled 21 countries in the world. I have learned 14 languages. So many feathers on our cap. But that's Gita is neither for it nor against it. That's not the main issue. Main issue is with those many languages you know or many countries you have gone and all those things, or without that, how is your condition of the mind? Therefore, to describe the fall of a human being, the two verses in Bhagavad Gita in the second chapter, verses 62 and 63 are enough. Dhyayato vishayan punsaha sangasteshu pajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha kamat krodho vidyate
ଆସିବ ଖାଇବା ଆଉ କଣ ୱିକେଣ୍ଡରେ ଗୋଟେ କେଁ ଚାଲିଛି
क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः स्मृतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशः बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति. Why the two verses with so many steps? Just to take that last sentence. Buddhi-nāshāt pranashyati. Our fall is when our buddhi, our viveka, our intelligence, our ability to distinguish the true from the false phase. Buddhi-nāshāt pranashyati. The greatest asset you and I have in life is not talent or wealth, even physical health or many friends, really, or on Facebook. It's not. Those are not the true assets. I mean, we don't disrespect them. If we are blessed with many friends who wish us on our birthday, who come to see us if we are in a hospital bed, we respect them, we are thankful to them. But the greatest asset is not all that, it is buddhi. If we are intelligent in the gravest of situations, thanks to that intelligence, we will separate anatma from atma, the not self from the self, and we abide by the self. The self, in the Vedanta's language, the pure self is ever Sat Chit Ananda. Even if you are in hospital bed with a leg at 45-degree angle and coughing continuously, and nurses are coming to again and help, in the midst of all of them, it is possible for you to stay Sat and Chit. Or to use the language of Bhakti, it's possible to be grateful to God, even in that what seems to be a pitiable condition. It's possible. That is the mystery. That's the open secret of spirituality. And how does this fall begin? If you and I, no matter how old or young we are, become aware of our negativities. Some of us have lust, some of us have greed, some of us have anger, some of us have loneliness, some of us have. So, one of the negativities, typically everyone has some problem. If we closely examine, we find that it did not come on our head or enter our mind from the sky. It is in our early childhood that we somehow started thinking wrongly. We thought sense objects have a lot of happiness. And we not only ate, but we overate. We perhaps went to the extent, maybe even to the extent of stealing some laddus from our own house kitchen and gobble. As we grew up, maybe when we not just went to movies, we went to too many movies. We lost ourselves in the pleasure of the movies. The hero and heroine are dancing. The hero smashes the villain, and we're so happy. Ah, movies or food or music or some kind of shopping, some kind of so many escapes. We went beyond certain sensible limits. And that is called Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa, Sangat Kama. We get so attached to it. Texts like Viveka Chudamani say to us, give to us the example of how the silkworm causes its own bondage. From the body of the silkworm, a certain waxy substance comes out, they say, and that becomes the thread with which a certain cocoon is made, and the silkworm rests in that cocoon. It is dreaming of becoming a free bird, free insect, something like that. But it is this mankind. Those cocoons are boiled in very hot water. The silkworm dies. What an example! We, by fancying how wonderful these movies are, when I was in fifth grade in a primary school, a teacher came to the class and said, today, instead of continuing whatever subject he was teaching, I asked you a question. And we were such naive, obedient children. He asked every one of us, when you got old, what do you want to become? We all were alarmed. And someone said, I want to become a very wealthy man. Somebody else said, I want to have a cinema theater. One girl said, I want to be mother of 9 children. So what is the answer? I had my own conditioning that time. I got it. I want to become a scientist, I said. Okay. So many fancies. But one boy, you know what he said? I can never forget. He is very smart. He said, I want to see a lot of movies, but to be a owner of a cinema theater is a lot of headache business. He said, I want to be the gatekeeper of a cinema theater's hall. So they're standing there and checking cinema tickets. That was his imagination, though other methods have come. But somewhere he had seen the ticket examiner letting people go in. He's at the door and he can see the whole movie. I want to check the tickets of those who are entering this cinema hall. Everybody laughed. But really, some of us also thought he was smarter than us. Even I thought, what's the use of becoming a scientist? He is right. We can get to see so many movies. Because we all fancied movies in those years. Here. Go to cinema theater maybe with a ice candy in hand, etc. was heaven that time. So you and I, money or woman or position or fame or long list, that's all Vishaya. Ashtavakra in that incomparable, extraordinary work called Ashtavakra Geetā, very first chapter, second or third verse, he says to Janaka, Mukti michasi chet tata vishayan vishavatyaja. And Kshama Arjava Daya Shanti Dantihi Piyushavat Bhaja. Like you reject poison, keep away from things of the world. You must understand it properly. He doesn't say never eat sweets. What is meant is never allow yourself to be enslaved into any of them. Sweets or movies or games or, we tend to be stuck. We tend to be caught in them. Never allow yourself to be caught in any of these. You get to eat puran poli, gas, they call it in Kannada, some sweet. Recently, I was in California. There is one. I went to a Maharashtrian restaurant. Its name is Puran Poli, if I remember right. Puran Poli is, I don't have to go into diet, food, etc. No one says, Ashtavakra doesn't say don't eat jalebi. But what does he mean? Keep sense objects away like you keep poison away. Please see, it is a subtle, sukshma shastra. Moment you detect that I am getting overly attached to this food or that drink or even to this person or to this place, I am getting overly attached to some respect I am getting somewhere. I want to meet them again and again. They should praise me again and again, and then my day is made. No. The moment you detect certain clinging attachment, gently reduce it. It's not good for either you who is getting attached, and if it's a person, it's not good for him or her also, if you are so attached to him or her. It is a great gift that you give to others, to your children, to your spouse, or to your cousins, elderly people, to young or old. Greatest gift is you love them, but you also, as Scott Peck, the author of The Road Less Traveled many years ago, it was a bestseller in the early 90s, I guess. Scott Peck, a well known psychology professor somewhere in Chicago. He wrote, the sign of love is how you help the person whom you love in his or her spiritual growth. What a definition. Next time you say, I love her, ask yourself this question. Do I really love her? Going by Scott Peck's example, am I relating with her? Relating means, am I talking to her? I am saying yes or no to her in various matters in a way that facilitates her spiritual growth, or I hurriedly say yes, I uh, instinctively say no at places, confusing her or pampering her, getting her more and more enmeshed in various emotions, rather than awakening in her or him certain objective thinking. So, to extend the little self in us, to facilitate the expansion in the other person's consciousness, for her or him to grow spiritually, is definition that Scott Peck gives. There is reason to believe he was quite touched by Eastern spirituality too. So I won't go into the whole shlokas, but to quickly mention, fall is described in the 16th chapter also. In fact, in every chapter there is some mention of how we fall and how we rise. But as an example, in 16th chapter, Sri Krishna talks about Asuri Sampat, those who are so much given to anger, to unreasonable amount of desire, kama, krodha. It's the 16th chapter which says, for example, Trividham narakasyedam dwaram nashanam atmanaha. There are three doors to hell. Kama, krodhascha, lobhascha, tasmade tatrayam tyajet. Desire for delicious food is biological. But desire for delicious food, anytime, every time, 2 a.m. I get up, go to washroom, and while coming back, I think there are some doklas in the fridge. Why not I warm them up and eat? 2 a.m.? That's psychological. It's not biological. You had a proper dinner and you slept. It's not that you are hungry. But the tongue says, that dokla they gave us was so delicious with that green chutney. So at 2 a.m. you go, take that and warm it, eat. So in various matters, we must examine. We must be honest to ourselves. It cannot be standardized. In eating or talking or sleeping, nothing can be standardized. Some people talk a lot. Maybe it is their nature. Then Geetā doesn't say reduce it, etc. There are other ways to handle it. Some people talk very less. So one must examine, am I talking very less out of some suppression or some fear or some undue hesitation? If I am not talking because of undue hesitation, I better learn to talk, say things at the right time. Don't pat yourself on the back. I kept silent. You should not have kept silent at that time. There itself, you should have said, you should have called the spade a spade. There are times when not talking is a problem. There are times when talking is a problem. Then one must examine it. So Sri Krishna talks about those, in spite of messages coming to them from friends and relatives, etc., in spite of messages coming to them from their own conscience, they don't handle their negativities with certain care. They say nothing will happen. Everybody does this. I also will do that. Justifying. Then you know what happens? Sri Krishna says in very harsh words, and you may wonder how can God speak such harsh language? Shipami ajasram ashubhan asureshu eva yonishu. There is an expression in the 16th chapter. Devasura sampad vibhaga yoga. Those who don't pay heed to any advice, those who don't listen to their own inner voice, those who continue to hurt others, Those continue to hurt themselves by bad habits, right? I put them again and again in Asuris, situations, Asuri families, Asuri births. I put them in hell and so on. So he is not unkind there. He is only placing before us the law of Prakriti. If you feed yourself negative stuff, then you get more and more negative. All of you know that little story of a certain native chief of Seattle or somewhere, the Native Americans. The father says to his son, "My son, let me tell you, in the bosom of every one of us, there are two wolves. The two wolves are all the time fighting. My son, believe me, there are two wolves inside us." And the son, 8-year-old or whatever, is very curious. "Papa, tell me, which wolf wins?" Then the father smiles. First of all, the first wolf is peace, love, contentment, right behavior, right speech, right meditation. And the second wolf is anger, jealousy, cruelty, wishing ill to everybody, and wrong meditation. Papa, this boy says, "Papa, I understand, I got the sense of it. But if these are the two wolves, which wolf wins in this battle?" And the immortal answer of that father, Native American chief of one of those tribes, is, "My son, that wolf wins. Which you feed more? You could feed the first wolf, then it is for rice. You could feed the second wolf, that is for fall. In you, time and again, two options do rise." There was a teacher in a college saying this example. Let me conclude. He was a bit strict and he was conducting a test, and he gave the question paper, a small class of 20 students, college. And he stood on the stage as boys and girls were writing the answers. And then he saw one boy in the fourth row was looking at him and then looking down, and there was something fishy. The teacher went quietly here, there, that side, this side, going around, pretending not to have any special attention to that boy, but he actually came behind and saw that boy, against the rules, was keeping some book open and copying something from that book. He was supposed to write out of his fresh, right now, memory and whatever. Anger arose in him. In fact, he was even he felt tempted to slap that boy. That would become a big case nowadays. He did not slap, but he felt like shouting at him, "Shame on you! You are a second-year engineering student and you copy? What a disgrace!" All his vocabulary was rising in him. But thanks to some satsanga he had done, thanks to some company of pious people he did, even though some bad words came to the tip of his tongue, suddenly there arose another thought in him. Why should I make a mountain out of a molehill? So, in fact, he told me, this man shared with me, this was many years ago. I too was a teacher in the same college, but this was a colleague of mine. He said, today I was conducting a test. I don't know how, but suddenly another thought arose in me. Let me dilute this. And I found myself just lifting that book with a smile on his face. That boy was a bit embarrassed. Will I be taken to task? I lifted that book and saw, and I said, "This is actually best book on this subject. I'm glad you have your own copy." Give a compliment to him for possessing the best book on that particular subject, some circuit theory or some electromagnetic, some such subject. The best book available on this topic. I'm glad you have it. The student was surprised. Half his embarrassment went away. Then my friend said, and then again, by God's grace, I said to him very lovingly, uh, please continue writing. Whatever little you can write, it's all right. But don't use this book. And I took the book away. And I just smiled at it and came off. I was so relieved, and that boy was so relieved. And then the boy completed. In fact, the boy was not doing all that bad. He passed actually, whatever, out of 25, he got some 12 or 13, not too bad. And later, I believe that boy came to the teacher's so-called staff room. Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir. I will not do that again, and so on. He was smiling. I was smiling. The teacher said. See, the first wolf was call him names, scold him, put put him to shame in front of all other girls and boys. Ask him to get out of this classroom. All those thoughts had come. That is the first wolf. He could have fed that. The second wolf said, no, no, that anyone can get angry. Anyone can, after all, you are a teacher and a principal and this college is with you. The boy is a student. Typically, a student is at a disadvantage in the power structure, though you can never take it for sure. Second wolf said, dilute it, show some smile on you, and pat him on the back. If you want, take the book away and say, write it without using the book. That's what he did. He fed the second wolf. And everything a bomb was diffused. Eventually, that boy apparently became more studious, more disciplined, etc. It's a great gift he gave to that student that day. I was thrilled to hear that episode in our own college. So, friends, Bhagavad Gita on rise and on fall gives to us some places motivational statements. Arjuna, rise and do your duty. Tasmad uttishta kaunteya yuddhaya krita nishchayaha. Don't act like what do you call this? Eunuch. Klaibyam masmagam partha. Tasmad tvamuttishta yasholabasva. Jitva mahim. So many motivational sets. Some places it is the practice of bhakti, practice of jnana, practices like pranayama, practice certain healthy practices, even if it's for 10 minutes, do it. And you see that things change. And then with nice pointers about what finally the truth is. The truth of your and my existence is Satchit. It is a light of all lights. Be that light. Know yourself to be indestructible. And do not go down the slippery slope of always thinking about pleasure and power and rebuilding some image. Aha, if I can go in that very expensive car that friend of mine has, how wonderful it would be. This is called fancying. A little desire arises in all of us, but we don't have to feed it. We can be more objective. If it's within our means, go buy that car. Otherwise, God has blessed me with other things. Let me be content with what I have. Let me not covet, let me not desire that very expensive car. So by Sambodhana, Atma Sambodhana, Atma Upadesha, for counseling yourself. All this comes in the shlokas of Bhagavad Gita. which ends, in a sense, the 66th verse of 18th chapter. Ma shuchaha. No matter how much you have messed up your life so far, never mind. Ma shuchaha. Don't cry. Don't grieve. You can rise. You have fallen a lot, fine, no problem. Rise, rise. Keep rising. So the whole science of spirituality is about dissuading us from falling further and encouraging and guiding us to rise higher and higher till we are totally free, invincible, indestructible. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Please feel free to ask a question or to make a constructive criticism or a comment. Hari Om. We are looking at the chat box also. Swamiji's background is not right. It is moving. Oh, really? Wisdom of Happiness with Dalai Lama. Recently released film. Yeah, we must go see it. Yes, someone was asking. Did someone raise a question? Yes, Prasad ji, please unmute your mic. Prasad Vepa, mic is... no, Prasad Vepa, even now your mic is muted. You could kindly turn it on. Meanwhile, anyone else, I think there is some technical, or maybe you speak, let me know at least whether I can hear that. Oh.
I think I'm sorry about that. So
now we are hearing you.
Thank you very much, Swamiji, and enjoyed your talk as always. I was especially happy to hear you recite the 8th verse from 12th chapter. That is always very inspiring and very beautiful.
Chapter 12, yeah.
It's my favorite verse in all of Geetā, I would say, and I think it capsulizes the bhakti approach beautifully. And of course, the story of fall is so beautifully described in second chapter 62 and 63. So you cited some very great gems today. You referred to chapter 16. What is the verse that talks about the 3 gates of hell? You did not mention which particular...
3 gates of hell in chapter 16. I'll tell you right away the verse number. It is towards the end of the 16th chapter.
Okay.
Trividam narakasyedam dwaram nashanam atmanaha kama krodascha lobhas. 21.
21. Okay.
16, 21.
Thank you. Enjoyed it very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Welcome, Mahabala. Nice
We
to
are
see
back in Tampa now. Yes. 3-4 days yoga. Almost a week now, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Still overcoming little bit jet lag. Other than that, it was...
okay. We met in Mysore in December, right?
Yes.
So just now you went back, okay.
So your ashram in Bombay is...
it's functional.
It's
functional on a low scale. That is, some 12 to 15 people can come and stay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
classroom and teachers' cottages and dining hall, kitchen. The basic necessities are there. It's functional, it's running.
Nice, nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Already
Nice,
many guests
Swamiji.
have come and stayed. I
Wow.
welcome
Next
many
time,
of you, all of you, to contact us if you are
yeah,
coming to India near Mumbai. You may come
definitely.
and spend a couple of days or whatever. Next month we are holding a short retreat
Ah, nice. Nice, Swamiji.
from
Thank you so much.
new airport, Navi Mumbai
Oh,
airport. It's only 90 minutes.
oh,
Bombay
okay.
has a second airport right now. It's the first
Oh,
city in India to have a second airport.
wow. Wow.
When you are in
Is it?
USA, you have so many airports. I
Hmm.
think Los Angeles has some 6 airports in LA.
Yeah. Yes.
So here, no city had. In India,
True.
airports had terminals, terminal 1, 2, 3, etc. But
Hmm.
Mumbai is the first city to
Hmm.
have Bombay, BOM, and New Navi Mumbai, NMI, 2 airports.
Wow.
So
So you
from
said,
ah,
you said 19 minutes, huh?
90, no, no,
90. Oh,
90,
okay,
one
okay.
and a half hour.
Oh, yeah, I know. I know. I was really surprised if it was only 19. Yes. So nice to see you, Swamiji.
Oh, I am so happy. And okay, see, some of you perhaps are not getting our messages regularly. I'll give one email ID in the message to all. If you can see the Powai forum at Yahoo is better, no? Or Gmail. Which is Gmail.
This is Gmail.
Powai forum at gmail.com.
Uh-huh.
To this, if you write,
Hmm.
please include us in your mailing list. One of you did already. I am taking that.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes, yes.
Swamiji?
Tell me.
Yeah.
Tell me, Mr. Kishore.
Yeah. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
Namaskara.
ಇದು ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲ the two thoughts coming all the time.
Yes, yes.
When you are reacting to situations. I think that is, I think all the people or most of the people feel that way, 1, 2 or 3, whatever it is. But that comes to me, to my mind all the time, and then about seeing some situation and then reacting in a bad way one time, and then realizing that no, think it properly, and then calming down, and then think that people do mistakes, but at the same time I also will do sometimes, and then if other people react like that, then I feel hurt. Okay, I may regret later on that what I did was wrong, but at the same time, at that time I feel hurt. So that is how the good mind overcomes or wins the bad mind reaction. That is just, I wanted to mention that one, because that is very natural for most of the people, and who wins at the end is very important.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was my comment.
Very nice of very nice of you to share that. Very appropriate.
Yeah.
May I speak, sir? This is Parth. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Yeah.
Okay, I really like the example you gave of two different wolves that both reside in us, right? The one, the so-called, maybe the aggressive one, the quick one, which reacts, and the other one, you're also calling it as, or hinted towards it as, the intelligent one.
Yeah.
While I think you mentioned the other part of us, which is the intelligent one, which tries to take charge and says that, hey, this is not right, and versus the other thing is right. But I think in all moments of practicality, I think which Mr. Harlu was also pointing out, uh, uh, the aggressive one, the reactive one, typically holds a lot more power over us because of all the knowledge and all the habits in the way it reacts. It just starts operating so fast. Any learning or any knowledge that I take from this call, let's say, right, applying it there in the moment becomes very difficult. And hence, is there a merit to understand why the aggressive or the reactionary wolf behaves the way it does? Because I believe both of these nature are essentially trying to better the self. It's just that there is it is marked by some ignorance. Is it possible that instead of using knowledge and trying to correct, we better understand out of curiosity and awareness as to why it behaves the way in which it behaves, to sort of stop that behavior altogether? Because I have had phases where I felt that, hey, the stronger wolf, the intelligent wolf, has now overpowered the one which is unintelligent, but it only lasts for a few days or months at max. The other one still starts, over a period of time, it starts uh, uh, getting back its power and starts again reacting. So that conflict never sort of resolves in the favor of the intelligent one.
Yeah, the intelligent also has to be sometimes, there is an emotional intelligence, they say. Be assertive. Be assertive without having to be aggressive. So it's not that the intelligent one is meek and submissive and always goes for goody-goody solutions. So we don't make it two watertight compartments. See, in management, corporate ethics, etc., they use an expression win-win. So there is a aggressive approach where I win and you lose. And the recommended approach is wherever possible, we must go for win-win. Can both of us get the best out of situations? Especially in families, it's very evident. In the corporate world, it's less evident, but there also in the long run, if any businessman or business house does things which is good for all, they will be much more appreciated and they will have more peace for that. Yeah, I want to only clarify that the aggressive wolf and the other one you called intelligent wolf, I think. The non-aggressive wolf is not one to just submit every time. Sometimes the non-aggressive wolf will have to assert its right and in very, very well thought out ways safeguard its own interests. It's not about being goody-goody or being so simply conforming to a pattern. No.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. I guess this some have put some comments which are for everybody to read. Like Scott Peck not only wrote The Road Less Traveled, one of the participants has written. Some more books by him also are wonderful. A World Waiting to be Born, Denial of the Soul, In Search of Stones, and so on. So all of you may take note of it if it interests you. Then there is a comment. People pitying us must not touch us. If there is no self-rejection, we take it easy, even when others look down upon us. If we are already filled with self-rejection, pity from others can provoke us. True. The self-rejection is a terrible thing. Self-condemnation, self-rejection, and saying, oh, why am I so bad? Oh, what a wretched person I am. I always fail. Whatever I touch turns to ash, etc., should be avoided. One must rather look at, yes, once more I failed. Though it pains me, let me see what went wrong. Don't say, I am bad. I'm born bad. I am born with a genetic defect or something. Don't label like that. see what best can be done. If somewhere you and I find that we are not cut out for it, nothing prevents us from changing our field of activity. Many people change their field of work, field or relationships. True, this comment by Keshav Shastri is a good one. And Wisdom of Happiness with Dalai Lama also is a good book. Another comment here.
Swamiji, regarding that self-rejection,
Yes.
there is Buddhism, they say 2 arrows, the principle they say. Once the first time the arrow hits, that thing has happened, somebody has said something. And the second is that we impose on ourselves. We go thinking about it, processing it, and
True.
feel bad about it.
True, true. Yeah, I guess long back we had a webinar on that, the second arrow. There is a certain teacher
I think
in your own.
mentioned,
Yeah, certain teacher. What Rao he is? There is one Rao's Institute in New York. And
Sri Kumar Rao, Swamiji.
Thank you. Sri Kumar Rao. Sri Kumar Rao, in one of his books, beautifully gives that story. That book is called Ancient Wisdom. No, Ancient Roots and Modern Wisdom. Ancient Roots, Modern Wisdom by Sri Kumar Rao. There he talks about one arrow is what actually happens. The second arrow is our self-infliction by negative thoughts. That we should try to avoid. As we grow spiritually, those who grow spiritually, they also meet with hard times, but they avoid the second arrow. That is, they don't allow their mind to inflict pain on them. They keep the mind more balanced. Like somebody scolds me, and as I walk back home, if I say, again he scolded me, always he chooses to scold me, I am the one that he scolds. So now he has stopped scolding. I walked away from him half an hour ago, but I am now blaming myself. In various ways, if our thought process aggravate our suffering, that is the second arrow. If the thought processes calm down and allow us to try to understand what happened and how we may prevent a second occurrence of it, that is only first arrow operated. Second arrow is our own creation. So well said. Buddhism has, I believe, talked much about it. All right. So looks like such simple topics relate more to daily life, and we'll take some more such topics from Bhagavad Gita. Because rather than going more and more into what is pure self, Atma, Anatma, there's a place for them also. There's one more comment, Muktam Nirvishayam Smritam. Even if we are austere outwardly, mind can become restless. Whereas those who do not seek to become someone are free always, fine. It is so true that sin is self-rejection. In which state we are in life, we can check where spiritually we are by seeing how much courage we have. Yeah, good comments. Thank you. So I guess with this, we may bring this webinar to a close. Best wishes and regards to all of you. Namaste.